Welcome to Dr. Jester Rants, and I'm gonna rant. Not before I go. So, you beautiful little shits, did you enjoy Christmas? Yeah, I hope so, because stupid doesn't stop just because it's Christmas. Merry fucking Christmas. Well, I had 2 videos prepared for this, and turns out it had some weird sound issue that I do not know how to solve, so I had to take the videos down. Too bad, really. Anyway, so is there any Christmas left over, or have you eaten everything? If not, please share. I like some food, please. Anyway, let's go and rant, because that's why you came here, right? Right. Where was it? Oh, right. No, wrong button. Anyway, ScrenRant. D&D problematic lore that still needs fixing. Do me a favor, you fucking troglodytes. Stop sucking cock. Stop failing. Stop being a goddamn fucking cuck. And goddamn stop being a retard. If you don't like it, do me a favor and go play something else. Go enjoy something else. Go do something else, you idiots! Anyway, well, I was alright. D&D is trying to be inclusive, but problematic elements remain. D&D needs a modernized default setting and to proactively stand against bigotry. No, it does not! The setting was fine, it was dandy, it was perfect, the way it was. I don't see the need, the absolute retardness behind the idea to change not only lore, but game mechanic. Why I say that? I'll get to that in a jiffy. Because that's the lore that made the game entirely famous, that made the game be what it was 10 years ago. You peasants! Right. The latest batch of official errata from Dungeons & Dragons tabletop RPG has a different focus from most. Errata usually exist to correct rule imbalances or to provide clarity, but the most recent errata instead focus mostly on problematic D&D lore. Yes, I covered this in a couple of videos before, so if you want more details or if you want to know more about it, go and check out my other videos in regards to this. But suffice to say, they changed the races being inherently evil, you know, the traditional troll or dark elf being evil. And other things like that, including, no, slavery, I think the slavery was for Pathfinder. Either way, either the fucking way, there is absolutely no need to do anything to change the lore. Why? It was perfect the way it was. It was exactly what brought idiots like that guy into the hobby to begin with. But the most important part, and I need to make a special mention, is that why would a fucking filthy fucking evil lich, I don't know, the super head honcho inside the goddamn fucking dungeon care about, wait for it, wheelchair accessible ramps? Let that sink in. No. The Lich is spreading its evil terror around. Or kidnapping villagers. Killing people. Kidnapping little children and things like that. Killing. Kidnapping. Haunting. Spreading evil around, and you go as an adventurer, and you have the retard in there with a wheelchair, because why not? And then you go to the to the dungeon and the Lich is so evil that they actually forgot to actually add wheelchair accessible ramps. So, what do you do as an adventurer? Well, you throw a protest in front of the Lich, or, well, the dungeon and say, I demand wheelchair accessible ramps. Otherwise, I'm boycotting. Why? Let's read this. As tabletop RPGs in particular, D&D have gained more mainstream attention, which I am starting to think it's a goddamn fucking mistake. There has been the concerted effort to make the game more welcoming. There is no need to do that. The wider audience had removed some of its offensive legacy elements. There is no need. These have been largely successful. No, they have not. What you did was scare away most of its players. And the game has taken steps to move past fantasy racism. Oh shit, I forgot to switch the screen. I'm a goddamn fucking boomer. Oh well. But imagine you're playing Dungeons and Dragons. Suddenly that little halfling, that little shitty people McNugget, the tiny little people pocket, that little 1/3 of a human, has the same strength, the same agility, and the same physical abilities as a goddamn towering and large barbarian or a half-orc. Makes no fucking sense, does it? Well, welcome to New Dungeons and Dragons, the SJW version. Anyway, let's continue. But D&D is still such a problematic lore that needs address. No, it does not. Truly fixes problematic elements. D&D and the world's best don't care. It needs to forgo using Forgotten Realms as its default setting due to the abundance of insensitive cultural analogs into the campaign. No, there isn't. And start fresh with a setting that carries less back. Yeah, no, really, if that's all that you care about, why don't you just go and create your own goddamn filthy RPG, your own goddamn shitty game, instead of actually changing something that already exists? Oh right, I forgot. Because these people are creatively fucking bankrupt that they are incapable of creating anything new. That these people are so goddamn creatively bankrupt that they are afraid actually of offending anyone, whatever they create. So, except if you're a white, male, straight, or a Jew, or anything of those demographics. Otherwise, they will do everything they possibly can not to offend you. That fresh with a setting that carries less baggage and a more modern design paradigm. No, there isn't. The ending has an obligation to take a stand against bigotry. That's why, suddenly, one day, the world will be out of the 3.5 edition, or the 3rd edition of D&D. And then, we'll... Goddamn fucking fly! Getting exactly like the goddamn fucking SJWs. Everybody, I was making a point. I lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah, right. Then suddenly those books will become collector's edition and will cost a pretty penny because nobody is going to care about the 5th edition or the next edition that they make. Anyway, the game instead of just directly removing questionable content, the game needs to be specifically define sexism, homophobia, racism, and slavery as evil line or views and actions, regardless of the origin of these views and practices or any other rationalization. Much of D&D low-hanging fruit has been addressed already. Yeah, and they ruined it permanently. Attribute limitations based on gender existed in the early editions of D&D, and that was correct, because, after all, men and women are physically different. Oh my god, I just triggered a bunch of nobodies. I just triggered a bunch of pronoun in the bio. Useless shits. I just triggered the goddamn SJW mob. And now I'm ready to be cancelled. Suck a cock. Anyway, attribute limitations based on gender exist in the along in a way with more recent iteration. No. Imagine like a very thin and skinny little bitch looking hot is as strong as a the goddamn towering goddamn barbarian looking individual. No, imagine, let's compare Conan with a tiny little skinny little shit. Yes, that's what they are advocating here. Or they are advocating with one of those land whales being as dexterous as a skinny little shit. We're dealing with morons. Anyway, whereas the races were initially inspired by the Lord of the Rings series and other fantasy novels and has since expanded significantly, though those are fictional races, some older descriptions of fantasy race characteristics and how they are viewed by others read this I don't care. Discussions of the problematic elements of D&D often confuse those who are not veterans of the game, and there is a distinction between D&D as a rule set and the various D&D campaign, while Dungeons & Dragons is a rule set for running heroic fantasy adventure games. Which is sad today because wheelchair accessible ramps in a dungeon. Though Dungeons & Dragons is still a tabletop RPG rule set and not a game world, most editions has used the default setting from I don't care. Now imagine nothing, and then they don't really imagine this little shit here being as strong and as dexterous as a tall figure like a half-orc. Imagine that. Makes no sense, does it? Well, welcome to the new D&D. Goddamn flight, thank goodness it didn't reach my coffee. This one promises to be a very shitty paragraph. The advanced Dungeons & Dragons expansion box included many settings that were loose approximations of real-world cultures viewed through a fantasy lens, like the oriental adventures of Al-Qadin, Arabian adventures. However, well-meaning their intentions may have been these primarily products of Caucasian right, there you go, it's important to highlight the races of the authors, and let me put it this way, you troglodyte who doesn't know science. Arabs are Caucasian. Yes, it's gonna trigger your little shit of your bunghole, your neo-Nazi bunghole. I know it will, because it triggers the other neo-Nazis when I say that truth, but you goddamn fucking cocksucking idiotic piece of shit, yes, they are Caucasians. But I'm pretty sure the idiot who wrote this goddamn filthy article means it a white dude. But that does not change. You can actually write something based on other cultures without you being belonging on that other culture. You just need to write it to make it believable by studying it before you do so. Idiot. Authors creating fantasy analogs to real cultures and nations based on the limited scope of knowledge of those places and their mythologies. But don't worry, they are allowed to write white novels, because after all, race is very important to those goddamn collectivists. Ayn Rand said, racism is the lowest form of collectivism. There you go. They were not made with the themes including indigenous authors who could weigh in on the accuracy or offensive of these portrayals. Wizard of the Coast has posted a disclaimer on many of those legacy products because they are idiots, which are still available for digital purchase, noting that they are products of their time and may not reflect appropriate modern cultural sensitivities. Well, after all, they are trying to protect themselves from the woke cancel mob. That was a mistake to allowing them in the game. We should have kept them out. Anyway, this makes it perplexing decision, therefore, to choose Forgotten from the homeworld for these products of questionable taste. Do me a favor and go shh. Dragons character setting, I don't care. Remove a blanket statement on things like D&D Dark Elf races moral alignment, but they were evil, altering inherent bonuses and penalties based on race. Turning down language that mirrors real-world races are all worthwhile efforts. No, they are not! You're ruining the game! Forgotten Realms' popular, highly recognized, don't care. The more recently created steampunk inspiration Eberron setting shows a better design paradigm, moving away from poorly thought out analogs of course, you cannot have real-world analogs in there because the only evil there is going to be the white people, otherwise everybody are saints. I hate what they have done. Gatekeep, gatekeep, gatekeep! The other perhaps more important problematic area of Dungeons & Dragons is not due to the offensive content that is still present in the game, but brave choices are absent from the game's design. Can remove racial stereotypes and work to improve representation. Goddamn, go suck a cock! This change to raw lose alone would be a widespread fix, so I don't care! It's a unique position in the most visible and popular tabletop RPG on the market. Yes, wanna know what made this popular, this visible? Yes, the core rules that we all fell in love with. The lore, the original lore, but changing all of that, you're going to lose this position, you idiots! D&D is decades old and rich history, and certainly part of its appeal by creating a streamlined easily. Go suck a cock! 5th edition is a mistake. As flagship products and hobby, it has taken steps to modernize itself, but these have been primarily reactive. Go suck a cock! Removing legacy elements of real and implied racism, sexism, and homophobia. I don't care! Dungeons & Dragons must move past the baggage of the flawed, forgotten realm settings, using its alignment system to real-world good by clearly defining bigotry and slavery as evil line and stating this is an absolute cannot be rationalized. Will it be an even more powerful? Go fuck yourself, you little retard! If you don't like what you're playing, go create your own goddamn fucking game instead of actually changing what already exists. God damn it! Now really, we go for Christmas and this stupid never stops. On that fucking hell, have a great fucking night, because quite frankly, after reading this, I don't think I will.